All right. Okay.
We're live.
We are live, ready to go. Let me just make sure all windows are open, everything's running. Okay, let's begin.
Is your phone on silent?
It's usually almost always on silent. And what it is, it makes a beautiful sound. I have an awesome sound pack. It's great. It doesn't seem to have like that same like glass ding sound that every iPhone user has.
I hate you, Jeff.
Yeah, I know, right? You're jealous. All right, so here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to the 21st episode of Tech Laundry. I'm Jeff.
Our thing is old enough to drink, and I'm Tertius.
Yay! Our show can finally go to the bar and get completely smashed. Although eventually it'll want to die, because if it just keeps on going past 100, it's like, oh! It wants to die, and it can't because the show must go on, as they say in the show business. I don't know why they say that.
Are we in show business if no one's really watching?
Someone's listening. Somebody.
Somebody out there.
Some 300 plus people are listening in some way. And
still makes no sense to me.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But that's okay. I'm glad you guys are here. Glad you guys are listening. Because we got actually a lot of different things to talk about.
Too many things. It's always too many things. I think October is just a crazy month for technology.
I've never remembered technology. I've never remembered October to be so like action.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, okay, so we got the Apple event a couple of weeks ago. It was the Microsoft event last week.
Google event.
There was a Google event a little bit for that too. I mean, we had that in the mix too. Just all the big announcements from their phone. I still haven't heard anything from HTC, so that might be coming up soon, right?
I haven't kept up with that. Possibly soon.
Possibly.
We'll have to see.
Possibly soon.
I'm excited to see.
But it's crazy lot of stuff. Crazy lot of stuff. And yeah, Jeff, are you getting your iPhone yet?
The answer to that is finally yes. However, because I'm ordering it through the AT&T store, it's gonna take like end of this month is what they're projecting. Could be soon,
really?
But Apple doesn't tell people when like they're shipping out stuff, so it kind of just happens like that. So finally that's happening. I need to buy a new mouse. So right now what we're doing is that we're shooting the shit. That's what we're doing. We're casually engaging the audio person.
So this doesn't feel as it's like, oh, here's what we're doing right now. We're being so natural, and we're just hanging out.
So what I did right there was basically completely stagnate and Android it up. So, like, engage casual mode.
Okay, so going back. So what do you need?
So this is an episode. This is the part of the episode where we talk about shit I need to buy. I need to buy a new phone, and I want to buy a new mouse because I've had this thing. I'm gonna show it to the camera. This is my mouse. I've had it for a number of years.
Okay, what mouse is that? So it's it's a Logitech, right?
It's a Logitech Performance MX, and you can see
those things are like the king of mice.
They're so good, and like it still works, but like I've worn through the rubber.
Yeah.
The undercarriage of like the mouse. Like I've actually like my thumbs actually dug a hole into it.
And the thing is that your thumb isn't even pressing anything. It's just from holding it.
There's no button there at all. There's nothing
it's just
like holding. Like, you know how like monks will pray for like 50 years in the same spot and their feet are like ingrained into the wood, like their prints?
Yeah.
That's my equivalent. Like this is me doing my prayer over and over. It's actually just me scratching the mouse because I'm a Twitch shooter person. So not nearly anywhere as near as holy or as fancy as
it's quite holy. It's quite a religious experience, you in gaming.
It really is. And but it's time to go because like whenever I click the scroll wheel once, it clicks twice sometimes. And if I click to the left or the right, sometimes it doesn't switch tabs like it's supposed to. And it's starting to get to me. And then like I have nightmares about it.
See, when you're a tech nerd and like all your you start having dreams about your equipment. Like I found like that happened to me like really early on when I dreamt that somebody poured honey into my like DSLR's sensor.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember like the most horrifying dreams I have is somebody messing with my gear. It's like one day, one of my dreams, I was at an event, and I left my bag somewhere and had all my gear in it, and then like when I came back, it was gone. I've never felt like true fear in my life until that dream, and that was my fear, was to lose my gear.
I can just feel that right now, where like that sinking feeling. You're like, oh.
Yeah, that it's like you're like your stomach just falls to your like feet. You're just like, no.
Anything I ever cared about was in that bag.
Your girlfriend was in there,
Yeah,
just hanging out.
Like my stock options or whatever, if I had it.
She just didn't want. She didn't want to be mean. She was too nice to say, "Don't kidnap.
Don't steal." Okay, you can take it. Anyhow.
Yeah, dude, I wrote up my birthday list, and everything is like Apple based, and it's so sad. So I want to update my airport. So I want to buy a refurbished Airport Extreme and an Airport base station, so that I can push music through it. And one of the things was like, do they stop caring about Apple Pay? I mean, sorry, not Apple Pay, Apple Play. Because I read that announcement, they got the new Beats thing going, and I didn't hear a whiff of AirPlay support. I just heard you have to download an app to use it to its full potential, but I didn't hear anything about AirPlay, and I'm like, is Apple abandoning the idea of AirPlay?
I haven't heard anything like that. I wonder if they're gonna rebrand it with something like they're gonna be it's gonna be Beats Air, or I don't know, something
Beats Air. And I like the Air kind of name to things. Like Airport, I thought was the funniest name for anything.
Really?
Airport, and because it has all the plugs and stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's sending shit out and it's receiving stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of clever. You'll be pretty happy with your airport purchase, though. I've had nothing but good things to say about that router.
Oh, I love my airports. That's why I want I don't want to even buy other ones, even though I think it's gonna be $150 investment because I'm gonna buy it refurbished. So it's network solutions, man. That's what I want. I want network solutions, an Apple TV, and maybe an iMac for work.
You should do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Video editing.
I'm always surprised if people cheap out on the router or their Wi-Fi router. That's what connects you to everything. And if the internet goes out, for some people it's like a religious experience. They're like, oh no, the internet's out. Let's stand. You got to stand on 1 foot, and you have to make sure you're facing north while you're otherwise nothing works.
I've never heard that. That's not a thing.
They have to burn incense. I swear to God, dude, when you're fixing someone's Wi-Fi, no, yeah, what you have to do, they found some crazy way to fix the internet, but it's not a sane way of fixing their internet. It's having to do a bunch of steps that have nothing to do with the actual problem.
Yeah, I mean, I also want to buy my own router or modem, whatever the thing is that you have to pay a rental fee for. I'm so done paying the rental fee. I want to buy my own, one of those is it a modem? I think that's what it's called.
Oh yeah, the combination modem box with the router.
Yeah. So I want to buy one of those because I don't want to pay Xfinity $5 a month anymore. That's bugging me.
You can even charge that. It seems
right. I thought it just came with internet.
It should.
Oh, you can have this service, but you need extra equipment. It just seems bonkers to me. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so we were talking before, Microsoft had their big event, and they announced a lot of really weird, boring, but interesting things. It's they totally got the spectrum of boring, cool, and then really interesting things going down. So let's start with the boring stuff first. The Lumias. Okay, so here's the thing with the Lumias for me is that they always come with a flagship, and they always come with great for their OS, but I can never I'll never know what the number is gonna be.
Do you mean the model number?
Yeah, no, they're so they released the Lumia 950, the Lumia 950 XL, and the Lumia 550. I don't know where those numbers came from. I don't know what numbers came before them. The HTC One M8, M9, a progression.
Yeah.
Apple's, you have a progression. Samsung's, you have a progression. The Lumia is it feels like there's just a lot of numbers, and I can never be like, I know which one you're talking about. Is that just me?
True. I mean, it might be like I haven't really paid attention to like the Microsoft phone like OS like environment
Yeah.
in like a long time, but I've heard like the Lumia name, and I've like
Yeah.
fooled around with like a few phones. Like when I was in college, I like someone had like a Lumia phone. I was like, this is actually really nice. And, like,
Yeah.
everything about the phone seems really nice, but I don't
There's
know.
no support whatsoever. There no like they took them forever. We got Snapchat and like Instagram. I know some people are still using third-party support for that stuff. It's just it's such a like weak ecosystem. Like I feel like BlackBerry is interesting because they're also coming out with an Android powered device with a slider. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, dude, they're totally coming out with like a BlackBerry that sports Android. It's also like Vienna or something.
Let me take a look at it. Oh, it came out. Oh
Yeah. So okay,
my god.
so going back, so you look at that, but okay, so the Windows flagships came out. So the Lumia 950, has a 5.2-inch display. Has a Snapdragon 808 processor. It's like a weird liquid cooling system. That's pretty cool, and they have like pretty good camera, and they're charging flagship prices. It costs around $550, and of course they have to have a phablet option, which is the Lumia 950 XL, which is, it's 5.7 inches. It's quite big,
Hmm.
and she's got the same like it's got like a pretty good camera, has image stabilization. It has you know like a different chip. I don't remember what it is. It's different, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of, but it costs $100 more than that one. So I don't know. I still think like the Windows Phone division is just a sad kind of like cousin that nobody ever really wants to talk about because it's such an unredeemable failure of a thing. Nobody wants it, and the phones just look boring.
There was nothing I could think like if I had to think of like a killer feature of a Windows
Mhm.
phone that would get me off another environment. I can't think of it. Like, can like the Windows phone can't run like full native apps that you can on Windows, right? Like that's not an option. I'm
Well,
pretty
no,
sure.
actually, no. That's the big thing about Windows 10 is that you can actually plug it in using a dock, and then you can use it as a computer.
Are these going to be having that? Do these have that feature?
Yeah, these are the Windows 10 phones. Like it's the one that actually can do that. You can totally get a dock for it and stuff. Like it's
Oh.
called the Display Dock, cool name, and it's a little brick that you can plug in with a USB Type C cable, and yeah, it could get a full desktop experience. I don't know how well it'll perform. I'm pretty sure like all the native stuff like Word and Excel will work fine, but heavier things, I doubt they'll actually do anything real.
Is there a release date?
I'm not sure actually on the display dock, but yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's later this month for all the phones, and I'm pretty sure, um, you know, the other things will be released at the same time.
Huh.
Yeah,
Well, that could be interesting. It requires. I mean, it's such a specific like it's like a feature that's very cool, but like
yeah.
so little
Okay,
people really
here's my
use it.
problem. Okay, so you know how we're talking about how Windows phones you can turn them into PCs, but do people want to plug in their phones to become PCs? What problem is it trying to solve, really? Because I
Um.
mean,
Hmm.
okay, so will you have just a screen at home with a keyboard and mouse that you can't access unless you bring your phone?
Um, my guess is that like it's going to be like the IT industry is trying to tackle the issue of like bring your own device.
Yeah.
So like it's a good idea, but it's also it poses a security problem because
Mhm.
you have employees who are basically carrying around sensitive information about the company.
Yeah.
But if you have like an environment like where, I mean, you're bringing your phone to work, you plug your phone into your workstation, and it just
Mhm.
becomes your full-fledged workstation for whatever you need.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Jeez, need to cut that out of the recording. Sweet. It's like that could be nice because, like, I don't know, like I kind of like I hate carrying around a laptop first and
Mhm.
foremost. As much as I love laptops, it's like they're big and bulky, and like you have to have a particular bag for them. They're kind of fragile. They're expensive. Not to say that phones aren't, but they're like so much convenient. You just like have this thing. You're like,
Mhm.
boop. If like I would like I look down into the right to see my giant PC just sitting here, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I mean, it's not gonna replace this,
Yeah.
but if I had like when I did work as an intern for an IT company, I had to have a workstation.
Mhm.
So if they provided me like a phone that would basically like this is all your work phones, like this has everything that's work related is on it, and you can carry it with you, and then it becomes like a full-fledged PC. You don't have to like worry about going back to work to like oh
Yeah.
it didn't sync properly or
But isn't
whatever
that what the
issue.
cloud is for?
It is, but desktop in terms of like desktop cloud stuff, there's not really a whole like it's not there yet. Like everything is.
How? Okay, okay, that makes no sense to me. Of course it is. They have, the OneDrive with Microsoft, obviously. We have the Google Drive. We have like the Creative Cloud. How do we not have that stuff? Like all your email syncs, and half of work is email.
Yeah, but it's still like in term like do you mean like isn't syncing documents or like because like not everything is going to be like cloud ready or whatever. Like I could have worked remotely when I worked,
Hmm.
but there like there's some issues. There's just like it's certain applications that are legacy
Hmm.
that won't
Well,
work anymore.
okay. Here's where I think the cloud thing doesn't work with big, heavy software. And would you trust your phone with big, heavy software like Photoshop or InDesign or Illustrator? I don't think that would work. And that's
I
the
don't know.
only way I could think of that, it would be useful, but it's really not when you can access all your documents and stuff. The things that you use your phone for and your phone is strong enough for can be in the cloud.
I don't know. It's sounding more and more like I mean, with all the latest benchmarks of the new Nexus line and the new
Mhm.
iPhone 6s, it's seeming like performance is starting to exceed laptop level stuff for just our phones.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing at least 2 years until this becomes a real thing, where like people actually use it and there's like
Yeah.
real. I, I don't know. Like I like the idea of it, but I also feel like that this whole thing is like it's like it's solving a problem no one had.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure where to go with it.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. It's just there's no the problem being solved here. Everything that you really need for a computer to do, you can use the cloud for. It doesn't have to be. And I don't know. It just seems strange to me that you would have a monitor at home that you plug in your phone in, so no one else can use it unless
I
they
don't
have
know.
their own Lumia phones. Or you can just have a computer and
Yeah,
not have to deal with.
yeah, exactly. Just or you just buy like a normal laptop and like, oh well, then all there's no you're done. There's no limitations. It just
Yeah.
works.
Okay. Okay. So
Anyhow,
we got to the board. That's boring stuff. That's lame.
okay.
Cool things. Microsoft totally announced their first ever laptop. It's weird to
Yay!
say, oh, this is Microsoft's first laptop. It's like, but haven't there been like laptop stuff for like decades? Well, I mean, it's the first time it's like full on. This is the company's laptop, not like it's like hardware from Lenovo or Acer or HP or something. It's from Microsoft, and it's called the Surface Book, and
Yay!
it has like ridiculously powerful specs. It has a 12-hour battery life. It has it's a touchscreen. It has a touchscreen, and it has the craziest looking hinge I've ever seen.
It does. Let me show you
Let
guys.
me pull that up, Jeff.
Yeah, they call it the muscle wire lock or
Yeah,
something. There's like a certain mechanism they have for it.
yeah. So
Um,
basically, it's like a weird snaky looking hinge that acts as like, one of those like a transformer thingy that you can bend all the way to the back, but it also can detach.
So here I'm showing it on
There it
screen. Yeah, it's got this interesting like these like different segments that bend with it. This is like the locking mechanism for it.
Yeah.
Very, very. Yeah, this is the biggest thing is the fact that like they announced all this stuff and they're like, oh, this sounds pretty good for a laptop, and then they took the top part of the laptop off, and I was like, oh shit, it's just by itself. Like that's amazing. Like that. But then it became like extra incredible because you're like, oh, it does all that by itself without having to have like the bottom part of the keyboard.
It's like they took the best parts of an Ultrabook and put it inside a tablet.
Good.
Yeah.
So this was totally. This was very surprising from like Microsoft because like they, like as you can see, like on the slide they have like the direct comparison to the MacBook Pro, like they're actively going to compete for it, and I think this laptop, we haven't like gotten. They announced that it's going to be an i5 and i7 from the Skylake family, but they haven't given specs for it yet. So we still need to wait on exactly how powerful it will be. We have an idea. It will be pretty competitive with everything that's currently out right now.
And it is $1,500.
Yeah, and
that's
it is
MacBook pricing. Yeah, it's definitely MacBook pricing. So it's really interesting. And of course, the Surface got a refresh. We got the Surface Pro 2 now, and it's getting a lot more powerful. You can get it to up to like 1 terabyte of storage and up to 16 gigs of RAM. Imagine a tablet with 16 gigs of RAM. That's nuts.
That's really. How much is it?
Huh? Well, it's around. It's comparable to like a decent like MacBook Air. Remember, like around $900.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, the Pro 4 starts around $900. It has the Surface Pen, which is like an extra thingy. And it's like accessory, stuff like that.
What I thought
yeah, go ahead.
What I thought was interesting about the Microsoft Book was the fact that
Surface Book.
That's right, Surface Book, whatever.
An ugly name.
Surface Book. I mean, I like Surface, but it should I guess we just call it Book now? Is that?
Yeah.
Book? That's it. They couldn't use a different word, book.
Yeah.
Book, like holy shit. Like, I mean, I know you're competing, but like,
yeah,
could have used something else. Anyhow, the fact that so they have like, okay, so like the screen detaches from the keyboard.
Yeah.
But what they've done is that they've put a lot of like the workhorse like GPU inside of the actual keyboard part. So when you're doing like Photoshop or you're running something that's like 3D rendering stuff, you could just attach it onto the keyboard and it will like offload all of its like graphics processing into the keyboard. Like that's super smart. Like I think that's like really, really cool that they had that idea. They're like, we want to have all these features, but we can't fit it in this frame right now. Like we just need to offset it into the keyboard. I'm like, that's really cool. Like no one's done that. Like we've always talked about like external like GPUs where you could just like, oh yeah, you plug it in through like, eSAT or like something, but no one's like really done it. I mean, you can do it, but like it's not like a common consumer thing. Yeah. So this is like the first time I've seen where they've done it in a really nice form factor that most people wouldn't know.
It's a pretty cool looking device. I mean, it is the coolest thing to come out of the Windows event for me, or Lumia event ever. And definitely, you got more accessories. Got like the new keyboard. They have a new wearable. The Microsoft Band is not as painful to wear anymore. It has curved glass. It's pretty cool.
How much is the band?
Like around $250.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool band. Like, I mean, before I tried one on. It was a painful feeling device. It did not feel comfortable at all. Like really? It kind of stabbed you, and it was like a weird form factor. But it has a curved Gorilla Glass display now. Has OLED screen. I'm not sure. I didn't think. I remember the old Microsoft Band was accessible through all the platforms like Android and iOS. I'm not sure about the new band. I didn't hear anything about that yet.
Wow, it's really nice. It is really nice looking. I will give it that.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, I'll have to see in terms of like the usability, if it's still as if it's a lot more comfortable or just a little bit more comfortable than the other one, because the other one just was not fun to wear.
So let me ask you this question
Mhm.
about the book. What would it take for you to buy that?
I think if someone can show me that my Adobe Suite would run better on it.
It's just straight up, that's it?
That, and if I was really into the Microsoft ecosystem. Because the hardest part about transitioning from OSs and all that is the fact that I'm so embedded with like another company. Like Apple's created a really powerful ecosystem that every part works really well with each other. And the Apple devices do not talk that great with Windows devices. It just doesn't.
It's funny that you mentioned that because like I remember growing up and like the having to pick between OS X and Windows was like
Mhm.
so competitive.
Really?
Like it was like people were just like you can't switch between them. Like you can't ever like it's like the idea of like switching between them was like so stressful because you're just like you have all these things on Windows or all these things on like on Mac
Yeah.
that like you can't ever have both. You can't have both
Yeah.
or like transitioning is just such a pain in the ass. But now like we don't
Yeah.
really think about it actually. Like I kind of like have realized I'm like most of my stuff is like web browsing now or like yeah,
Yeah.
I work in the Adobe Suite or like there may be like a few particular like Windows only apps that I use.
Mhm.
And like I just think it's so interesting now that I'm like, yeah, I could switch to OS X or like but I'm not thinking about like the application wise. I'm just like, oh, I'm just switching environments. Like I'm not
Yeah.
actually I don't have to ever worry
Okay.
about.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. You're actually closer to me in terms of buying a new laptop.
Yeah, I'm
So
like
I'll let me turn the question around on you.
uh
Since now you can see, the new Microsoft Surface Book, would you consider switching with all that power, with all that kind of, and in terms of portability, it is a like kind of a transformer type tablet.
that is true. The answer is yes. However, I'm going to okay, so right now
Mhm.
nobody there's no benchmarks like this doesn't exist. Like you can pre-order it, but they're going to be going on sale like end of this month, 26th. And
Mhm.
Apple has like like the upcoming new architecture of chips is coming out from
Yeah.
Intel. So it means they're due for a refresh for the MacBook Pro. So should this exceed the expectations or like should this exceed in benchmarks of the MacBook Pro, I would be inclined to buy it in some
Yeah.
way. Um, like I'd have to see like because like this one has like a full-fledged
Mhm.
um, GPU, whereas for the MacBooks it's usually discrete in some way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean pound for pound it is so fast.
Mhm. So
But
really,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But here's
but
the thing. Here's the other asterisk for me is the fact that I've been running OS X for the past 7, 8 years. I've never had a problem with any of the OS. Like all like the improvements have been incremental, but it's still an incredibly like stable, amazing OS. Windows, on the other hand, has had a very tumultuous few years. Like 7 was good, 8 was awful and derided, and 10 has just come out now. So, I mean, how much of that stability can I expect for the next kind of iterations of the OS?
as a person who's currently running Windows 8, 8.1 right now, and I'd say I've been running for the past like two years.
Mm-hmm.
Year? Um, I have never had it crash.
Mm-hmm. Well,
One thing
you have a beast computer.
I do, yeah, and like I have like seldom like it's funny because I've never ever considered ever buying a Mac for a desktop environment unless I had like just shit tons of money to just throw it on a Mac Pro for some reason. But even the Mac Pros now kind of hasn't been updated in like 2 years or something.
Yeah.
Um, I've Windows has always been my game for the desktop thing, and I just feel like when I'm using it, it just feels more responsive for certain things. OS X has smarter design. That I feel
Mhm.
like when I'm doing it, like when I'm using OS X, it feels like it's designed for humans. It makes sense.
Yeah.
When I'm using it, like anything that I do, like I instantly know all those keyboard shortcuts to
Yeah.
like quick open stuff. And not that those don't exist on Windows, it's just the experience feels better.
Yeah.
Um, but when it comes to just brute force speed of like when I open a window, it's like instant, like just like or just to have to do something, everything just feels like it's not there's no like softness to
Yeah.
when I do something. It's just immediately brute force. Like there's no animation when I expand the screen or if I like move a window around to a different desktop. It's just like just get in there, like just as fast as possible.
Hmm.
And I'm kind of okay with that. Um, in terms of stability, I have had like really like no issue. I can't nothing in my mind comes in stability. Just mostly just user experience stuff. Like I
Hmm.
don't know. Sometimes like it's not very clear when my computer goes to sleep and when it wakes up, and when it wakes up it doesn't do very like it just hangs at
It
like
needs a power nap.
the login screen for a while, and I don't know why it hangs out for like 5 seconds. I'm like, what are you doing? Like I don't know what's it doing.
Yeah.
So there's some shit like that that just really bothers me. But
Yeah. It's the thing is for me, like it's so difficult to even think of the idea of having a Windows PC once you've had the brushed aluminum finish on your hands for so long.
yeah, that's another thing. I mean, not to say that the book looks ugly because it really doesn't at
It
all.
doesn't. But the
It's
thing
very
is,
pretty.
whenever I think about like having something that's not it matches my all my other crap, I can't think of like I'm such a kind of aesthetically like thinking person that like my monitor bothers me because it's not Apple branded. It's not
Yeah,
like my hard drives I chose specifically because they look like Apple. I use the G drives, and they look like they belong in the ecosystem of it.
it's all together. It's all together.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a tough call. I don't know if I would ever be able to just buy a Windows PC. I've thought about it in terms of cost and just to sheer power because what I would want desktop for is would be for production.
Huh.
But then if I'm doing production, I'm using Adobe Suite, the Adobe Suite, and that obviously just runs better on Mac.
If I had to say one thing I didn't like about this is the fact that it's only 13.5-inch display. I would
Oh,
want a
that
15.
is true actually. Yeah, I'm like, I thought about it. I was like, if I was gonna get a laptop, I'm not gonna get the 13-inch anymore because I'm not a student. I don't have to like just focus on the tiniest one anymore because it's the cheapest.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. Because like, I mean, if they want this to be the workhorse, like, I mean, everybody's like, we'll just probably get an external display. I'm like, well, then what's the point?
Yeah,
Like,
and what's the point of having a freaking laptop?
yeah, it's not. It's their thing. And I've worked in After Effects and Premiere on back in the day on my old laptop, and it is not a good experience. It's so tiny.
It's so
It's
small.
it really sucks. Like the size is great, but
Mhm.
after like my girlfriend has like a 15-inch, like a new, like the
Don't remind me
brand
of
new
that.
one,
Don't remind me of that story. That
and
hurts my poor little boy heart.
it's like I think it's still pretty small and manageable, and the screen's great. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, I think we've talked a lot about this one. We have a few more topics we need to talk about,
It
but that being
feels like.
said, if you're in the market for a new laptop, I would definitely give like
Oh
I
no!
would
Hold
definitely.
on, hold on. We no, we don't. We're skipping the coolest part. So I went from most boring to coolest.
Okay.
The
Keep going.
coolest thing, Jeff.
Cool.
HoloLens development kit,
Oh yeah, that's right. You can buy for like what 3K?
$3,000. It's becoming a thing. I'm being proven wrong about Microsoft's Vaporware HoloLens.
That's right. It exists. You have to
It's
pay a shit ton of
happening.
money, but it is
Yeah,
happening.
exactly. That's the thing, though. The Oculus is coming out early next year for 300.
The Oculus is coming out. The Vive is scheduled for quarter 1.
Yep.
The Morpheus, which is like Sony's offering, I have actually no idea. I would assume it's also quarter 1. I think
Yeah.
they all pushed back to that level.
Yeah.
And then now the HoloLens is going to be available, so you can actually, if you're
For
developing
10
like,
times the price of like it's a different technology obviously, but will people forget about this ridiculously expensive AR because VR will be so much more affordable?
is it just me, or does $3,000 actually seem cheaper than I thought it would be?
No, I thought it should be in line with the VR products. I mean,
Really?
Yeah, in terms of um, regular people comparing products, for me it seems like, oh, HoloLens is like Xbox, and Morpheus is like PlayStation. Which one should I get?
Oh
You're
wait,
gonna go for the cheaper one.
wait. We're talking about the HoloLens still
Yeah,
in terms of price? I mean, well, like, yeah, it's two different like
it's two completely different technologies.
Yeah.
But when a regular consumer looks at it and it looks like, oh, it's goggles. There's that one has goggles too. Why are these so ridiculously different in price?
I think part of the reason right now is because it's like open now to like the public, like or public if you're a
Yeah.
developer. I think they artificially have increased the price by like a metric fuck ton so that like regular people don't just buy it because like they want people who are serious about developing it for it, to
Mhm.
buy it. Just like how the whole like Apple TV debacle, it's like only people who are developers should have the early copy of it rather.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the same thing. And in fact, they have
That's weird. Hold on though, but the Oculus, in terms of development kits, they're around $400, $500.
but it's just a different technology. Like the amount of like the amount to like to do something.
But it's a good indication of how much it'll like the final product will be, in terms of the technology inside it.
I mean, I fully expected to pay probably $1,000 when the final thing came out. Maybe like if they got it down to like maybe 700, that would be amazing. But I don't think it's. I think it's going to be $1,000 when it comes out. Like I can't see this being anything cheaper. Like there's too many new things about it that I'm like, there's no way they can make this affordable for like, normal people, or at least like
it might be the greatest thing ever, but unless people pony up the money for it, I don't know, man. We'll see.
But it does exist, and I feel like they're doing the Google approach for Google Glass. Like Google Glass was like way too expensive for what it was.
Yeah.
But the people who were really passionate about it were the people who bought it and are developing for it. And there's some like rumors right now going on that like they're on the verge of like doing something with Google Glass because it's been on the back burner for a while, and they took down purchasing from the store. So there's reason to believe that there might be an announcement in somewhat the near future about the new version of the Google Glass. But yeah, HoloLens. God, I'm so excited about it. I mean, I definitely died down on the hype when it first came out, but I'm still like, I mean, people are still like, yeah, it's the real deal. And I'm like, that's so fucking crazy to me. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see. Again, it's just we'll see. Like for me, I'm still predicting the fact that maybe it'll get left behind with the cheapness of VR and AR until it comes down to that same like price. I don't think regular people would make a difference. Like kind of see a difference.
Indeed.
Next one, Jeff. What's our next
topic? So really
next topic.
We won't talk about these next few topics as long as I didn't expect the Microsoft event to go for so long, but we did.
We did.
Tesla finally did their new announcement or detailing on their Model X, which is supposed to be even more expensive than any of their current offerings.
Okay, why is it more expensive? And give me a lowdown. What's special about this Model X?
So, Elon Musk, like when he started out, he wanted to create like a car for himself, like basically the car like he wanted to be like this is going to represent us as a company, and this like the Model X is supposed to be this representative of like him going crazy and just like this is the car that I want. Aside from everything else, like there is
aside from like he wants to like ride a spaceship to the moon. This is the thing. This is his ride.
Aside from him creating like freaking the Iron Man suit and then flying off into space, this is the car that he wanted. And this is like there is another version of they're releasing a new model that's supposed to be like cheaper. It's like $35,000. This is separate. Model X is for like literally like you want like premium, we'll give you it. So it has 250 mile. It's okay. Let me just see if I can start off with the price real quick. See if there's a final price on this real quick. So subsequent premium top level. So 130K ish.
What even is that? What is that?
Their cheaper model, the Model 3, will be for 35,000, which is more manageable. But this is for crazy shit. So okay, let me go into the specs. So it has a 250-mile range. It can go from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, but if you enable ludicrous speed, which they have like a software update,
Luda!
it just goes like hog wild. It'll go to 3.2, which is so fast. Like that's like a really muscly muscle car speed. Like 3 seconds, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds is like, that's when you know like you have like some crazy ass car.
Is that like the benchmark for like crazy shit?
Yeah, that's like crazy. Like that's how you know like you're a complete douchebag because you're accelerating. Top speed of 155 miles per hour. Has two different motors. So it has a 259 horsepower front motor and a 503 rear motor. And so like the big like marketing thing that they've done for this, or that's like that people have heard about the most, is that it has a bioweapons defense mode.
What?
There's a button that literally says like biodefense mode or something on it. Like, so what they've done is that they've created like a medical level HEPA air filtration system inside the car. Mm-hmm. So when like you're doing it, it's like it creates positive. So when you press that button, it creates positive pressure inside the car, so that like if there's like some bioweapon, like if bioweapons going off, like you're safe inside your car, and like it filters everything inside of it and it keeps it recirculating.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it's like the crazy. Like it's a real button. Like
so it's like the vehicle you want if you're gonna be in the Middle East for a while.
Yeah, like this is totally like the car that like for some reason some rich millionaire would be driving and they would have like, you know, like bulletproof everything.
Yeah, it's like the car that Nick Fury drives in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's insane.
There's a turret and everything.
This car is like very much like kind of an SUV. Like it's big. Like it can seat 7 people comfortably. Like and the interior is like insane. I'll show you in a second. It's insane. They have basically included a lot of the features in the previous cars, but the biggest thing is that the doors are called Falcon Wing, which like means they open up like kind of a little bit crazy. Yeah, I'm trying to illustrate. I'll switch to your camera what you're doing. There you go. That's a pretty good illustration of what's going on there. They can open actually with only 1 foot of clearance on either side, which is better than every other car out there almost. It's pretty good. Because usually the problem with these cars is that you need a lot of clearance on both sides when you open them. But in this case, it's actually just they automatically just open. So when you approach your car, the car picks up your proximity and it's like, oh, I'll start opening the door and everything. And
yeah, because it'll assume it has the room for it.
It's really crazy. But let me change to screen share here. Screen boom share. All right. Bam. So this is the interior of the car. Like
it looks like a bus.
It does. Look how much
like a futuristic bus.
They have like this new windshield that goes all the way up, like nearly. Like look how
much.
Whoa!
That is.
Yeah.
Whoa! That's so cool.
It's really
basically it has it's a really super HD widescreen like what is it? What is it? What's that called? A windscreen? Dash? No, not dash. What is it?
I was gonna say IMAX. They have IMAX windows, guys. Look at that. They've increased the resolution of the outside world.
So it's big. And you can see a lot more.
Oh yeah, pollution-free. Medical grade HEPA filter strips out outside air, pollen, bacteria, viruses, and pollution before circulating.
I wonder if you could drive it through like Fresno and not smell any terribleness.
I mean, I would be inclined to believe like they really rep this hard, like this whole like HEPA filter. They're just like medical grade, like hospital quality. I'm like, I don't know, hospital quality is the best way to brand it, but
the hospitals are notoriously clean.
Yeah.
Dang, the design team definitely designed cars that look like they're from the future, and like the future's now, and it's crazy and it's so cool.
It's so cool. And like, this is like
Falcon Wing.
Falcon Wing.
Falcon Wing.
I'm not really into SUVs, but this doesn't even look like an SUV to me. This feels like way too slick to be an SUV.
Yeah.
So, like I associate instantly with SUVs with like something clunky and huge.
Yeah, it looks like if the Prius and like a BMW had like a baby, but then the baby got shipped up to like a boarding school and got really, really, really expensive.
Wait, the baby got expensive?
Yeah, the baby got expensive. They're like kind of, we're like, you know, like eats caviar on the reg. Know what I'm saying?
Bam. So there you guys have it. That's the new Model X.
Crazy.
The P90D and the 90D. They have like two different versions of it, and they will both be out of your price range possibly. But they're estimated to come in at the end of 2016. So you're in for a long wait. Pretty much with everything that if you ever buy from Tesla, it's gonna take a bit because they have to build it and shit. Not to mention they have the other Model 3 that's supposed to be coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to have this whole factory cranking out these things because, God, I wish I had the money to ever buy anything like this. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I think if I had to say anything else about Tesla is the fact that if you watch their keynotes or their announcements with Elon Musk, it's so interesting to watch him present something because it's so genuine. It feels just like he's just excited. He's just like,
yeah.
He made like the whole supercharger battery or the Powerwall announcement like something that's like very boring. It's like, yeah, it's a big battery. It's like he made it more exciting to watch than just that. Like I watched an announcement about a battery and like I was actually kind of excited.
Dude, I watched a Microsoft one. I was like, man, these guys are smug.
Were they really? I didn't actually.
I watched it and I was like, I thought Apple was very like, kind of show offy about their stuff, but Microsoft kept saying the word look what they can do. Look. I was like, how like Apple's really good about like being kind of excited about their products. Microsoft's almost braggy about it. It's like, look what this can do. Look at the power. Compare that to the MacBook Pro. Nothing even close. And it's just like, wow, this is really braggy. And you're like,
yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I just feel like I think it's like the wrong approach when you acknowledge your competition when you're selling something.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, it's better than the Mac. And like they had on the screen, like straight up MacBook Pro, like kind of used to do that like back in the day. Like, I mean, because they did the whole like, I'm a Mac, I'm a PC. Yeah. But now they never acknowledge like their competition.
It's always the other PC companies or something like that, or all the other devices. It's like it's like Apple or the world kind of thing.
Yeah. And like and they just do on the thing that they're the first to do everything. So they just take on like some people take it as arrogant. I'm just like that's just the way they do it. Mm-hmm. Like it just that's like new to their ecosystem.
So we should do like a review on like the keynotes. That'd be hilarious.
We should just watch a keynote and just.
It'd be cool if we took like the transcript of the keynotes and just did SoundCloud. Like the word clouds. Kind of just see like what their like kind of pinpointing words are.
Oh, and like have people comment on them or something, and, like have them pop up.
No, like a word cloud. Like you put an essay in there and it just shows you which words kind of appear the most. Like a word cloud.
Oh, okay. No, sorry, I was thinking something else. That'd be really interesting.
That'd be interesting. Like what would be like their Steve Jobs' favorite word was like amazing, incredible. I really want to see what like Sandia's is.
Johnny Ive will be like unapologetic or something.
Johnny Ive was just like precision. He sounded French. Whoops.
Precision.
Precision.
Wow. Well.
Wow. Yeah.
I for some reason was thinking that this week was going to be a longer episode or shorter episode. My mistake.
Shorter episode.
It turned out to be pretty long.
It was quite a bit longer than anticipated, actually.
And it's funny. Before we close out the show, I gotta talk about BlackBerry Android phone.
Okay. You found it.
Oh my God! What? Like, I don't know what I don't know what BlackBerry is, man. Like, what do they want? Like, this is the crazy.
They just want to. Remember, they used to be like the king of mobile phones before.
Dude, yeah. How many of your friends had like a mobile?
Oh, I had a BlackBerry. I had a Curve.
Yeah, like a lot of people had them, and that was like the definitive texting device. Like, just like,
it's the best thing for email because you can't beat a tactile keyboard for email.
It slides. It has a physical.
It slides.
Keyboard.
It's definitely still in that kind of weird idea of what the past was, but it's interesting because. Well, I really want to get my hands on one because they don't have the problem of having a really really weak ecosystem they're gonna be using the Android market. They
They're
have Google Play.
so adamant about like their OS. Like I've heard people
Yeah.
like when iPhone like announced and like Android came out, they're just like, they're not competition. Like no one's gonna switch because of them. And like who wants to type on a software keyboard when like now it's just a complete joke. I don't know why they like is there a market for physical?
There are definitely business professionals still preferred the BlackBerry. Like for the longest time, a lot of presidents still had Blackberries. So this is interesting to see, like them embracing the Android kind of OS. Oh, but okay, just an asterisk. They will still be selling BlackBerry OS devices, but this is just the first one that's going to be running Android. And I think that's really kind of interesting, don't you think? Like there was this company who was top of the world, and then they just disappeared for a long time. Like all their products were failing. The 10 was, didn't perform as well as they wanted to. So, I mean, this is really curious, right?
It is. I'm not sure who's buying these. I guess someone is. I mean, yeah, they acknowledge here, like, yeah.
Are you at all interested? I really want to get my hands on one.
Really? Yeah, no. I mean, I just want to see what it feels like.
Yeah, like a slider and like now.
Like this keyboard that looks too small for me to comfortably type on it. Like I don't know why they didn't have like remember the kick flip like back in the day from T-Mobile?
Yeah.
Like you just like it's like the it's landscape keyboard, so you just flip it up and like you're good to go.
Yeah, but then it would be too wide. Because you remember how big the screens are now comparatively to then.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. It just seems.
Jeff is just like traumatized. Like this baby cannot exist. This shouldn't be a thing.
It's just so weird.
It's quite strange, but I really want one.
Well, I guess we'll see in the coming months whenever this releases. I don't know what they said. Can't seem to.
Yeah.
Wait, what the hell? Wait, is there another one?
What?
BlackBerry's second Android phone named Prague based on Passport. What the hell? Okay, wait, I gotta share this one. Oh my god.
Wait, there's a second one? I didn't know there was a second one.
Yeah, that shit. What is this?
Is that a mock-up or is it really... It might just be a mock-up.
In late August, images of black and silver BlackBerry passports running Android 5.1 were leaked. First couple images are press renders. Other three are actual hands-on pictures courtesy of Dudu Rocha. What? This is the craziest... What is this?
Oh my god, it looks so...
4.5-inch square display.
So weird but interesting looking. What are you?
This is a really weird... Man, I will link this in the show notes for those who are listening. If you're watching, like, this is really interesting.
It's running a lollipop?
And it's like a security slider. It just has like... It literally doesn't even have a fold-out keyboard or anything. It's just... There's just a keyboard there. Perfect.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you've seen the Passport before, it's just... Yeah. I really want my hands on one because they seem so interesting to me. They're just like, you're something that shouldn't be.
It's like, well, like I guess like BlackBerry's really sticking to the thing like, yeah, we're that keyboard company. Like,
yeah, I mean, they know their niche. They want people who want the keyboard. HTC wants the people who like love the boom sound. Google loves their people who love stock Android, and Samsung is like kind of pushing for that really amazing display in everyone. Everyone has a niche.
True that. Well, guess we'll see how that goes.
Jeff does not seem impressed at all.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Oh yeah, look at that sweet GIF.
Whoop. Whoop.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. I like mechanical things, so maybe if it like feels good to slide it, I'll be like, oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, if it's like if it's well balanced, that'll be nice.
That'd be nice. Anyhow, so that's it for this week, guys. If you want,
Jeff is exhausted.
More of our stuff. I'm done talking about that. So much stuff. If you want to find out more stuff about us and the show, all our show notes, as well as links to anything you want to subscribe on. So now we're on Stitcher.
We are.
We are listed on Acast, and we are actually considering on switching hosting to Acast in the near future. That'll have to be a whole long project because I'll have to re-upload and switch everything over in terms of.
It won't take that long.
it'll take longer than he thinks it'll take. And
It's only because Jeff has a really weird sleep schedule and he works on stuff at 2 o'clock in the morning.
No, this just if anybody knows about like when you rehost something, you're gonna have to do a lot of stuff. So that means that while we are available on more stuff, we also might have some embedded ads. So we'll have to look into that a little bit more. But we would really appreciate if you listen to the few ads in the future, because revenue's always good.
Yeah.
Our goal right now is basically to just pay for hosting for the show as it stands right now. And then in the future, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool things ahead of us. I mean, it's weird that like this little experiment, like, we were just doing it for fun because we were just talking technology just because I was waiting for my laundry.
That's true. People who don't know the origins of the show, that's how it started.
Yeah, like Jeff and I always just sat around talking about technology while my I did laundry at his place, and we were like, why not? Let's just involve people. And like I said, because people like hanging out with your friends and talking about weird things, and that's what we do. So
yeah. So if you like what you see, should we start a Patreon?
I don't know. It seems beggy.
I mean, I don't know. The thing is, like, I've seen it like a lot. Like a lot of people use it now, and I'm like, I mean, and despite the recent security problem, I'd still want to support the idea of it. So maybe we'll start one. So if you're interested in, maybe that'll happen.
Cool.
Everything else, you can join us at techlaundrypodcast.com.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter. I'm at Tertius Buffetta.
And I'm at Jeffrey A. Barron. And then until next time.
Why don't we ever come up with anything?
I don't know. I usually leave it up to you.
What? I didn't know that was my job. I thought that was your job.
I don't know. I just say until next time. Until next time.
Use fabric softener, especially when you have a girlfriend. They really like fabric softener.
Liquid fabric softener, or like the sheets that you just put in the laundry?
I think liquid is better.
I have yet to try it. I wonder how it works.
Anyways, see you guys next time.
See you guys next time.